big set, where them hands, where them holes, where them throws, you know what I'm saying? Cecil.
This is why I train in martial arts.
Now, granted, we look like a politically correct geriatric Brady Bunch, the five of us in here, but I don't know them. So I'm sticking my picture right here in the middle. This is on Paul Elam's channel, and whether you, I think it's Paul Elam's channel, and whether you agree with his politics or not, every once in a while, there's some good things that come up that are universal. And no matter how I try to drift away from stuff, I try to broaden my mind. Some conversation always comes back to self-defense, safety, and martial arts. This tidbit of wisdom that I've got from their regarding Men 23 Sexodus episode, just when I was about to tune out, I was like, this has nothing to do with me because I'm out of the market. I hear this tidbit of wisdom that goes back to my idea that your best form of self-defense is your lifestyle. I even go further than that. Your best form of self-defense, no matter who you are, where you go, is your health. Not that you have to be in ring fighter shape, but you got to be in the best shape and health that you can be in for your protection. Take a listen.
But for the benefit of the audience, I'd like to get your take on this because I think what you had to say was very interesting.
Okay, perfect question. A very important question, your safety. Something like 2 million Americans visit the DR every year. 2 million.
Republic.
And these aren't a random selection of Americans. These are wealthier, overweight, older Americans. And they fly some in on sometimes like an 8-hour flight or longer for they're switching airplanes. A lot of these people have pre-existing health conditions and heart conditions and all the rest of that. They come in from a cold area on a long flight, and the first thing they do is go and pound down beers on the beach, and they forget taking their medicines, and so some of them are going to die. Out of 2 million people, even if they didn't leave their own living room, if you were able to assess that cohort of 2 million people in the US in a year, a lot of them are going to die just sitting in their living room chair in that year, you know? And of course, with the stress of travel and drinking in the heat and change of climate and all the rest of that, and if forgetting to take your medicines, a little bit more percentage of them are going to die in the Dominican Republic than in the US. Okay, so some of that is coming from that position, I think. I don't think there's a conspiracy to go out and randomly kill gringos in the Dominican Republic. I don't think anybody who's living there does believe that. So a part of it is that the cohort of people and the huge numbers of people visiting the DR every year. That doesn't mean that there aren't other dangers in the DR, because there are. There's a lot of very poor people, some of whom are angry and violent, and will seize an opportunity to profit. You know,
Angry and violent, poor people, you say? You don't have to go to the Dominican Republic for that. We have that right here in the United States. One thing that can help you deal with angry and violent people, and some of them are rich too, so I won't just put it on poor people, is if you take a martial arts class. Particularly if you take my martial arts class. I teach you how to deal with punching, kicking, throwing, and pinning. As a civilian, that pretty much is going to cover just about everything. You add that in with awareness and your Taekwondo, tennis, and Judo slogans, and you're going to be covered for about 99% of what you would encounter as a civilian. The only other thing that you need to add that I don't always get to cover in class is your physical fitness and your health. If you have a condition, take your medication. If you need to lose weight, lose as much weight as you can. I'm still working on that myself. And be in the best shape that you can be so that the stress and fear and adrenaline dump of a self-defense situation, that in and of itself doesn't kill you. I mean, you can go hi-ya and instead of clutching their throat, end up clutching your chest because your heart just can't take the stress. So you just take care of yourself the best that you can. In addition to fighting techniques, try to be as strong as you can, as flexible as you can, as mentally aware as you can. Like I said, you don't have to be an Olympian. You just have to be an Olympian for you. And that should really help you out a lot. You know, handling stress, handling shock, fear. That can help you keep it together long enough so that you remember to breathe. And perhaps you can remember to block and punch, like the opening moves for Dan Gunn. So thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this with people who like to talk about the martial arts. If you want to hear the safety stuff, I believe in this video that I'm using by fair use, it is between 36, or I'll say 35 minutes 35 to minutes 45, where you're going to get some great self-defense stuff. So that we're going to listen to a little bit more of that. But as far as I'm concerned, the video's over. I probably won't interject anything else. I'll just let you get a little bit more of some of the wisdom in case you don't want to click over there.
By generally robbing, and if that robbery leads to violence, they're quite capable and willing to use violence. You know, if you're going to be robbed there, let them take your stuff. That's what they want. You know.
I agree with that.
Now, when it comes to people living there, we touched on this before, is that there are some women there who are not good women. And sometimes, you know, you've got to get to know them. And for instance, one of our friends was murdered last winter in January, I think it was, or February. And his wife is in jail for it. Now, the story is, and again, this has not gone through the court system yet, but the story is that, you know, he wanted to divorce her. He was claiming he was going to divorce her and she wasn't going to get anything. It was a very kind of tumultuous situation. And the story is that she hired two guys to kill him before he would divorce her so she could have his stuff, his money. So that,
of course, that sort of thing never happens in North America.
Exactly. Exactly. That can happen anywhere. So guys, you can't come down to a place like Dominican Republic and think that none of these things over there are going to happen over here. They happen everywhere.
I said I wasn't going to interject, but I am. They happen everywhere. So take your martial arts with you everywhere. You can.
Yeah.
And you have, and to be honest, okay.
And you know, I said I wouldn't interject. Integrity, if you can have integrity and you have integrity and you associate with other people with integrity, in case you don't know, integrity is one of the tenets of Taekwondo. Integrity can be a lifesaver because if you have integrity and you don't associate with people who don't, you tend not to marry women that will murder you for the insurance money.
She was a very young woman, very beautiful. And he was about my age. So there was could have been a plan from the start, if you will, on that. And that's not that hard to spot, you know. It's not that hard to spot a young woman who's looking to relieve you of responsibility of your assets.
Yeah.
Did that answer the question?
Yes, sir. It did. It answered it very directly. Thank you. Well, is there any other? I think I've exhausted my questions.
What advice would you give to young men here, Steve?
My name is not Steve, but the advice I give to young men here on my channel is to take a martial arts class, particularly mine. Peace. Now, where is the thing? There you are. Peace.
Where them kicks at? Where them hands? Where them holes? Where them throws? You know what I'm saying? Cecil.